The Trump administration's deportation machinery operates differently depending on where you live. In Texas and Florida, arrests happen quietly inside county jails. In California and New York, federal agents conduct street sweeps that make national news. Same stated goal: removing undocumented immigrants. Different execution. The gap reveals a strategy shaped less by security than by political geography. Internal ICE data analyzed by CNN shows 59% of arrests in Republican states happened inside jails. In Democratic states, 70% occurred on streets, at work sites, during traffic stops. That 11-point gap widened substantially over the past year. Border czar Tom Homan explains it simply. Sanctuary cities won't let agents arrest people in jails, so agents go into communities instead. That explanation treats tactics as reactive. The pattern suggests deliberate strategy. Operation Midway Blitz in Chicago. Operation Metro Surge in Minneapolis, 2,000 agents. DHS called it the largest immigration operation ever conducted. Both cities have sanctuary policies. Both operations generated intense media coverage. Both produced modest deportation numbers compared to resources deployed. The administration secured $170.1 billion in new enforcement funding through the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. That makes ICE the highest-funded federal law enforcement agency in U.S. history, funded at levels exceeding some foreign militaries. Congress approved $45 billion for detention centers, $30 billion for expanded operations. With that money came pressure to demonstrate results. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller set a target: 3,000 arrests per day. That quota appears nowhere in public statements. Multiple DHS sources confirmed its existence. Meeting that daily number requires casting a wider net than traditional criminal enforcement allows. There aren't enough immigrants with serious criminal records being released daily to hit those numbers. ICE statistics from December 2025 show 73.6% of people in detention had no criminal conviction. The Cato Institute found 93% had no violent convictions. The proportion of detainees convicted of violent crimes dropped from 10% under Biden to 7% under Trump's first 6 months. Administration messaging emphasizes removing the worst of the worst. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem regularly cites gang members and violent criminals. Those arrests occur, but data shows that profile accounts for a small fraction of total enforcement. Policy analysts note that focusing on genuine public safety threats wouldn't require 3,000 daily arrests or visible street operations in sanctuary cities. Republican-governed states rapidly expanded the Code 7 grade program, allowing local law enforcement to perform immigration enforcement. When Trump's second term began, 130 agencies participated. By late 2025, that number exceeded 700. Florida leads all states. A Florida officer with 287 authority stopped a driver for an illegal lane change, contacted ICE, arrested both driver and passenger. Sanctuary jurisdictions discovered their policies don't prevent ICE operations, they redirect them. Chicago, Philadelphia, Seattle, Los Angeles, Boston all saw major operations despite sanctuary protections. What sanctuary policies accomplish is forcing ICE to conduct more visible, resource-intensive arrests outside the controlled environment of jails. That visibility serves a purpose. Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin stated operations send a clear message to anyone in this country illegally: self-deport or we will arrest and deport you. The goal isn't only removing people in custody, it's encouraging voluntary departure through fear. In Charlotte, one school district reported 15% of students didn't attend class during a week of intensive ICE operations. The administration claimed 1.9 million people voluntarily self-deported in 2025. That figure is impossible to verify. No tracking system exists for voluntary departures. The number relies on estimates, not confirmed exits. By October 2025, Trump purged ICE leadership, replacing the heads of 10 regional field offices with Border Patrol personnel. Leaked DHS communications indicated the White House wanted tactics modeled on Border Patrol agent Dan Bovino, who conducted raids in California farm country, smashing car windows, rounding up people who looked like farm workers, conducting sweeps at Home Depot and gas stations. Some arrested turned out to be U.S. citizens or legal residents. The political calculus seems straightforward: demonstrate toughness, satisfy the base, pressure sanctuary jurisdictions. What officials didn't anticipate was how quickly public support eroded. Polling in January 2025 showed ICE with a +16 favorable rating. By December, majorities disapproved. One poll found Americans split on whether to abolish ICE entirely. 2 shootings by federal agents in Minneapolis became a turning point. In early January 2026, agents shot and killed a resident during enforcement. Days later, another fatal shooting. Governor Tim Walz demanded accountability. Protests erupted. The political impact extended beyond Minnesota. A Texas State Senate special election in Tarrant County, a district Trump carried by 17 points, swung 31 points toward Democrats. Similar patterns emerged nationwide with double-digit swings toward Democrats. Congressional Republicans face a dilemma heading into November 2026 midterms. Immigration enforcement was supposed to be a winning issue, but enforcement producing viral videos of agents using tear gas in residential neighborhoods, detaining U.S. citizens, separating children from parents generates different political reactions. Polling shows voters supported deporting immigrants with serious criminal records. They assumed that's what mass deportation meant. When most detainees lack criminal convictions, that assumption breaks down. Trump acknowledged the political risk in February 2026, stating he wanted a softer touch in Minnesota while being tough. He ordered withdrawal of hundreds of agents from the state. That tactical retreat came too late. Steve Bannon publicly called for ICE officers to surround the polls during midterms, illustrating how enforcement became entangled with electoral strategy. In Minnesota, Attorney General Pam Bondi linked immigration enforcement to electoral administration. The Justice Department tied ICE operations to demands for voting data and federal supervision of state election processes. That connection between law enforcement and electoral politics marked a departure from traditional boundaries. The infrastructure supporting mass deportation extends beyond ICE. U.S. Marshals Service contracts with nearly 1,000 local jails create a loophole around sanctuary policies. Federal agencies refer people for federal prosecution on immigration charges, turning civil matters into federal crimes. Once charged federally, individuals can be held in local jails under marshals contracts, even in sanctuary jurisdictions. A July 2025 report found ICE data showing 57,200 in detention, understates the scale by 45%. Actual number approaches 83,400. ICE detention climbed from 40,000 in January 2025 to 66,000 by December, the highest ever recorded. To house that population, ICE added over 100 facilities. For the first time, immigrants arrested in the interior are detained in hastily constructed tent camps. More people died in ICE detention during 2025 than the previous 4 years combined. The administration eliminated bond hearings for many detainees, making prolonged detention the default. New policies stripped that right from people who lived in the United States for decades with no criminal record. Federal courts have begun pushing back, reaffirming the right to bond hearings in several jurisdictions. Who benefits? Private detention contractors gained billions. Local law enforcement in 287 GI states receive federal funding. In December 2025, DHS announced it would pay salaries and benefits of local 287 GI officers, significant incentive for cash-strapped departments. The political benefit depends entirely on whether voters view enforcement as necessary security or excessive crackdown. The system's design prioritizes volume over precision. Meeting a 3,000 arrest quota requires casting a wide net. The emphasis on sanctuary jurisdictions reflects political strategy more than operational efficiency. Arresting people in jails is cheaper and easier, but doesn't send the same message. The message matters because the administration acknowledged it cannot deport all 11 million undocumented immigrants. The strategy relies on making life sufficiently difficult that people leave voluntarily. That approach carries risks. Political backlash in polls and special elections threatens Republican control of Congress. More than 100 lawsuits challenged the administration's immigration policies. Federal judges blocked warrantless arrests in multiple jurisdictions. State and local governments resist through legal aid programs and refusing data sharing agreements. Industries reliant on immigrant labor, agriculture, construction, hospitality report worker shortages. Some businesses closed, others relocated. The long-term effect on labor markets and federal revenue depends on how many people actually leave and whether they can be replaced. What wasn't said publicly is now clear through data releases and court filings. The worst of the worst framing doesn't match detention statistics. Visible urban operations in sanctuary cities produce fewer deportations per dollar spent than quiet jail transfers but generate more media coverage and political attention. The $170 billion Congress allocated funds operations through 2028. Whether there's political will to continue depends on the 2026 midterms. If Democrats retake the House, they could cut ICE funding and investigate enforcement practices. If Republicans maintain control, expect acceleration. The deportation system differs from what existed 2 years ago, not just in scale but in purpose. It's designed to be visible, to generate fear, to pressure both immigrants and sanctuary jurisdictions into compliance. Whether that design achieves its objectives while remaining politically viable is the test the administration faces in 2026. The answer will determine not only how many people are deported, but whether the political coalition that enabled this approach survives the next election cycle.